Hi everybody. Well, it's morning and I want to get warmed up here and ready to play for a whole day's worth of playing. So what do I do when I want my left hand to feel fantastic? The answer, I go straight to Sevcik. And what I do is I go to his School of the Viola, which is basically Opus 1, and I go to number 5. Number 5 is great because it stresses tetrachords. It stresses which of my fingers are together and what my finger pattern is, and it goes over 5 finger patterns that we should all know. And it's all in first position. After I go through number 5, I'm going to switch gears and go to a modified sevcik number 5 that I use, and that would get us through the positions. So let's start right into number 5, and let me explain what I'm doing. What is a tetrachord? A tetrachord is 4 fingers in a certain position. So we have first and second finger together, second and third finger together, third and fourth together, first and second and third and fourth together. There are lots of variations. No fingers together at all. Number 5 goes over a few of those. The first bit of it, let me play it for you, goes with the first, the second, and the third fingers being together. Like so. Now you'll notice that when I have my second and third fingers together over here, they're really together. I believe in really close half steps when we play the instrument because that really defines our intonation. So we have very close half steps and a little bit farther whole steps, which makes it very clear how we're playing. So my second and third fingers are really together. We're on the board together. Question: when doing this type of work, should I lift the fingers and only have one finger down at a time, or should I keep all of my fingers down all the time? My answer: keep all your fingers down for many reasons. One of them is that they're already there when you come back to them, but the other reason is that you can really measure between each finger and you can really see what your patterns are. So if you see me again like this, you'll see that the fingers are really together and that when they're all down, you can clearly see where the half step is and where those whole steps are. Now, the second pattern is the first and the second fingers together. So basically, I play the same pattern of notes, but with a different pattern of half steps and whole steps. So the first was a whole step, a half step, and a whole step. And now we're going for a half step, a whole step, and a whole step. Like so. Another good reason for keeping your fingers down is because when all of my fingers down, I make sure that my thumb and my hand is in a position where everything always feels comfortable. Being comfortable as a viola player is so important to your hand because we don't want to cause too much stress for the hand. So I'm always working with my position. Sometimes you can see me adjusting a lot like this, making sure that I can always put my fingers down nice and curvy where I need to, and that I always feel comfortable. So now we've gone through 2 of the 5 variations that sevcik gives us, one of them being the second and third together, the second being the first and the second together, like that. Now we're going to go to the third variation. And the third variation is the first and the second finger together and the third and the fourth finger together. So it looks kind of like this. I think that's Star Trek. It's like we have the first and the second together, and then a nice big whole step, and then a half step between the third and the fourth. And that's going to look like this. Just like that. So now we've had three. We have second and third, first and second, and then first and second, and third and fourth. What's next? Well, this one's funny because now we're going to go that the open string and the first finger are a half step. So very low there. And we're going to go where we have the third and the fourth still together. So now we have a whole step between first and second, whole step between the second and the third, and a half step between the third and the fourth, but we're going to be down to an E flat instead of an E natural, like this. Just like that. So now I have 4 different variations, and the 5th variation is that the open string to the first is a half step, and the second and the third finger is a half step. So now basically the hand's going to look like a whole step, then a half step, then a whole step, just like variation 1, but we've dropped from first position down to a half position, like this. Just like that. A lot of students have trouble in that particular position. And so when you're learning that the first time, you have to go really slowly, because when you're in half position like that, it's really, really hard to get that third finger down to the G flat and then a fourth finger up here. So it just takes some practice. So let me play that exercise with 6 notes in a bow to show you what that could look like. Well, I lost my focus and kind of played the wrong bowings, but you get the idea how I get those different finger patterns. Now, as the piece goes on, those 5 variations of tetrachords or finger patterns repeat themselves with different patterns of fingers. So let me just play through the second pattern, and then you can see that really it's the same second and third together, first and second together, first and second and third and fourth together, low first finger and third and fourth together, and then low first finger and then second and third together, but with a different pattern of notes. Like that. Now you'll notice that Sevcik, being the genius that he was, started that one with pattern 5 and went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So he started with the low fingers to be consistent, and then he added 1 step every time along the way until we got back to our original, and then the next set of 5 starts with the original pattern again. Etc., etc. So I will drop a copy of this down in the comments below, and while you're down there, why don't you leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking about that. I'd love to hear your comment, and you can pick up the music down there. I'll leave a link, And now I'm going to go to the variation of this great sevcik exercise. So a teacher of mine, Mr. Linzer, came up with this, used to make me play it at all of my lessons. And basically what it is the same thing except with shifting. So it gives you a little turn at the end, and then instead of you do exactly the same thing, but you keep on going up a half step so that as you go into positions, you learn how to play your tetrachords. And it's all on the D string. So I've written it out, and I will put that in the comments as well, together as a little packet. So here's how that goes. That's really how it works. As you can see, it's the same tetrachord with the second and the third fingers touching each other, and then the next one, the first and the second. Oops, let me do that again. Then it turns and goes to the next position. And now it starts on the first finger. The half steps between the third and the fourth position. The half step between the second and the third finger. The half step between the first and the second finger, and now the turn. Now on the last one, we have to shift up as we go, so that looks like this. And then we do it all over again. Like so. So it just goes all the way up the instrument like that. So we have 3 different variations of tetrachord, and then the first finger will jump up a half step and then finish it off, and then we'll go to the next position. So if you do it in a third position, now we're in third and a half position. So basically, you can see that you can go all the way up the instrument like that, and it's extremely helpful. Well, I hope that these exercises help you. I put them down in the comments, don't forget. And when you go pick those up, don't forget to leave a comment and put a like on the video if you like the video. And I'll see you back here the next time. And I'm going to play out by playing this beautiful exercise by Mr. Linzer. And until I see you the next time, happy practicing.